Hi Libra. Know we're running late this month, but I'm going to go ahead and do your October reading. And I've already actually drawn the cards, but I will be using the vice versa tarot deck. This one here. So the sun's going down, so it's a little bit darker, but hopefully we can get through this before we lose the light. But yes, I've already drawn the cards. I've got your 10 card spread, and we'll just jump straight into the story. I'm trying something new with this, so let me know how you like it. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, especially if this was helpful for you. And we are starting out with the Empress in reverse. Oh, sorry, I'm still getting used to this. The Empress in reverse. And that's what that looks like from the front. And it's interesting because there is a star hanging over this card, which makes me think that Aquarius might be coming up in this reading as well. Dobby buddy. I've got Dobby right here. I don't know if you can see him, but he's just being a little heathen. But yes, that does make me think about Aquarius. There's also a few birds in here. And one of them is, it looks like a two-headed turkey on the shield, and this is on the reverse side. Right there. But we are looking at the eagle, and you can up here, and this actually shows up twice in the reading. It comes back later in the reading, so I will circle back to that. The next card that we have is the Knight. Is it the Knight? It is the King of Swords. Dobby, please lie down. Thank you, buddy. We have the King of Swords, and you can see there's a butterfly here on his armor. Dobby just like kicked over all of the cards, which is really super sweet of him, because he just wants to be loved. Yes, you do just want to be loved. He's been a little sensitive. I've been a little sensitive, but hey, it's Libra season, so it's all about us today. So we do have that butterfly, which is kind of, I'm sorry, I'm getting super distracted, and this has been me again. So there's a hawk in this one. So we've got eagle, and a hawk at the moment, as well as a butterfly. So there's a lot of so eagles are speaking to, like your wishes being fulfilled. I'm sorry, guys. This baby is distracting me hardcore. He's purring so loud. I know you guys can't hear him. All right. I apologize. Last time. We started with the Empress. We have the King of Swords. We also have the Fool in reverse here. And there's also a cornucopia. And we will, I'm sorry, I lied. This is not the Fool in reverse. This is the Page of Pentacles. I don't even know why I said that. But I guess this card makes me think of the Fool. So there actually is a cornucopia in the Fool card as well, and it is that same young energy, but it's a bit different than the Fool. So, but I do think it's funny that I said Fool, which I will also bring back. The next card that we have is the Eight of Cups. I swear I will get this right. And that Eight of Cups, the reverse looks like this. So it's definitely inner work with your inner child. We then have the Knight of Wands, which has the Phoenix. We have the Nine of Cups. We have the Empress, the Queen of Cups. The Ace of Swords, which this is where we have the eagle as well as the laurel showing up again. We have the Ace of Cups. So we have the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Cups. And then we have the Death card. So we definitely have a lot happening this month, which I've definitely been feeling. But it's interesting because we started out with the Empress, and it's like we're at the end of summer here. I mean, especially like I live in the South, so like it just started to cool off at the beginning of this week. But it's a very young feminine energy that we're starting off in. And it is in reverse, so there's a bit of jadedness, I want to say. Like you can see there's a skull here in the background. Oh, did you Dobby? I'm sorry, I can't help it. He's adorable. There's the skull showing up here in the background, and that's kind of like this jadedness that's showing up. But it's still not like an unhappy scene. But then we also have the King of Swords showing up, and it's like it's a very thoughtful energy. When I say thoughtful, I don't mean like you're being thoughtful, but more so that you're in your head than anything else. And with this Page of Pentacles, it's like it is in reverse, because this is what the front of it looks like, right? So he's like examining his pentacle, and he's in a very abundant place, but he's still focused on like what he's got in his hand, what he's trying to manifest, what he's working on. And so from the reverse perspective, you can see that there's that cornucopia here at the bottom, but he's got his back turned to it and is focusing on this idea, this thing that he's trying to bring into fruition. And that's putting those mountains, those jagged mountains, like right in his path. And if you look at it from the other perspective, you can see what the other option is. Like you could really have a peaceful journey here, or you can, if he would just turn around, the abundance is like right behind him, but it's like, no, he's looking for even more, like maybe a different kind of abundance. It's like always wanting a little bit more. The Eight of Cups for me always comes up as kind of a hermit energy, but as it relates to inner work and shadow side. And that's why it's like on the other side, it's got your inner child, and there's that comment there of just like following, I want to say like what comes behind, like with a comment, how it's got that tail. It's like you're going into shadow side, into hermit mode, but there's something that comes behind. So that there's, and especially since this has the Knight of Wands coming up after, it really makes me think with there's that Phoenix here rising up. It really makes me think of the Eight of Cups is what comes behind the inner work and the inner child, and then rising from the ashes of that, sifting through the ashes. And so I've been reading a lot about like cleansing and like not just, so like yes, salt baths are really good, but also if you sow salt in a field, nothing's going to grow there anymore. So it's like salt cleanses to remove all energy, whereas ash is a way to like clear away what is dead so that new things can grow. Like you'll see people burning off a field to prepare it to grow new crops or just new grass, or make it like a better field. And by burning it, it replenishes the soil and all of that stuff. So it's like sifting through the ashes and really rising from the ashes as a tool for growth. So this journey into the wilderness is really a time for renewal and to replenish like the soil of your heart, if that makes sense. So that's followed by the Nine of Cups, and you can see that she's kind of floating out there. So that was the reverse. This is the front of it, where it's this guy is actually looking out. Sorry, it's so dark. I'll see if I can lighten it up when I edit. But he's looking out of his rich palace, and he's just looking at this open water. And again, there's the cornucopia. But it's like just distance. When I say just distance, it's like here, he's not looking at the cornucopia that's right behind him. Here, he's looking at the cornucopia that is just out of his reach. So it's like there's something that you desire, and it's always just out of reach. And it's like, why are you dealing with that? Why is it just out of reach? And then we have the Queen of Cups. And this is like the full embodiment of, oh, hi baby. Full embodiment of emotional energy. Actually, it's also the cover card on the deck. And it's like really bringing your feminine into balance as far as your emotions. And I was watching a video. I'll see if I can put a link in here to this video. Teal Swan is talking about how women being too much in their masculine can really throw the balance out as far as relationships. And that's what I'm kind of reading here in your heart space, is by being, there's nothing wrong with being self-sufficient, and that's not even the issue here, is to not be self-sufficient, but to make space in your life. If you're looking for a relationship, to make space in your life for that other person to contribute. Hold on, let me see if I can adjust this. There we are. I don't know if that makes a difference or not, but my screen was really dark. By making space in your life for someone else to contribute, it gives them the reason to stay. Not just to stay, but like if you're in a relationship with someone and you don't feel like they need you to be there or want you to be there, how do you feel about staying in that relationship? So put yourself in the other person's shoes and consider what value they bring to your life, and then communicate that. Let them know that you value them in that way, because you want to be appreciated for who you are in a relationship. So appreciation is the gift that you can give to someone. But I heard her video and it really spoke to me. So I'm gonna try and link it like at the end of the video or in the description box or something, because I feel like that is the message that I'm reading here as well, about being, and this goes both ways. If a masculine doesn't have a balance between his feminine as well, then it is harder to have a relationship with feminine too. And it's not even to say it's not possible. It's more so balanced within yourself for who you are as a person, and your partner to be balanced within themselves for who they are as a person, and for you to balance each other, because we all fluctuate a little bit, give and take, yin and yang. I mean, we're never in a place where it's like, yeah, I am 50-50 masculine, feminine. That's not really how it works. But if you are a feminine who's a little more masculine, then your masculine may need to have a little bit more feminine. So if you're fluctuating a little bit, then that's almost like the tide for each other to balance each other out. But to allow each other to contribute in that way. With the Ace of Swords here, that speaks to the beginning of a new way of thinking, and that is when you accept that new way of thinking, that brings in the opportunity for wish fulfillment. That's where we have this eagle coming in again. So it's almost like from the beginning we had this immature feminine energy, and we have that the eagle being wish fulfillment coming in, and it's like we didn't know that we were missing this before, and until you realize, you're like, man, I don't have that. That's when you're basically asking for something new, right? And then once you've asked for something new, there's kind of this shakeup, and you go through these different steps in a process towards having this new desire met. And those steps towards that process, the process of having your new desires met, can be can be like things fall away, things get shaken up, and it's a transitional period because you are evolving. And when you're evolving and you're growing in this way, that's when you're going through all these like self-evaluation, looking out here and saying, yes, I have this cornucopia behind me, but the new wish here, this is in the distance now. Like this is these mountains and valleys that I have to go through. And then you go through this period of self-discovery and figuring out what it is that your inner child has experienced and how that affects your current experience. You rise from the ashes as your new self. You see that what you want is within reach. It may be just a small change that you have, but you can see it is there, like it exists. And this is the 9 of Cups, and that's where you are. You're almost there. You embrace your feminine energy. You pull your masculine and feminine into balance. You accept this new way of thinking, and your wishes are coming in here. And then you see it gives you a new perspective on relationships. This card is really beautiful because here is the front of it, and she's looking out, and there's that dove, which is like the promise. But if you look at it shadow side over here, the prince is coming in. So it's like the whole time you've been asking for this, he's waiting in the wings. It's like you both have to be in a space where you are ready for this experience. You can't come into union with somebody if you aren't ready for them, and they can't come in if they aren't ready for you. So it's both of you like meeting, having the opportunity to meet in the middle. Oof, you stink. We then have the Death card. And you're like, what? After all of this, we have the Death card? Yes. But there's two sides to the Death card, right? There's this one, which is like a painful, like almost a ripping away. This is like a more violent end to something. And then we have the Sunset, which is, either way, it is the end of a cycle, but it's not how you approach the end of a cycle. It is how you approach the end of the cycle, but it's how you release it. And in this case, it is, she's like dancing in the background, almost like dancing on the grave. And you see the two towers, but it's like they're lit. It's not, there's nothing scary here. There's nothing fearful here. They're putting flowers there. It's like, this is a celebration of what was. There's a crow sitting on the skull here. So it's like, from this experience, I have learned. And I know there's just 2 of them here, but this makes me think of the 3 wise men. Especially if like there's 3 people here. There's the 2 men and there's the dancer, which is like, it's not just, it's men, like wise men in terms of like wise people. But celebrating the knowledge and the understanding that you have come to by going through this experience and releasing it. And when you release in that way, you're ready to start a new journey. You're ready to start a new chapter. And this is really a beautiful thing. Even though, yes, there isn't, the end of a cycle is, I mean, this is a full cycle that's happened in this reading. I think it's time, Libra, to release whatever your ritual, gosh, I can't speak. Whatever your ritual is for releasing, it is time to go through that process, to appreciate what you've had and to appreciate what is coming, because there's a lot of really good stuff coming. Libra, I hope this was helpful. I hope you will join us in November for your reading. And I will see you next time.